Okay, the real estate market in the US continues to melt down, and we have two news articles we're going to go over today. But first, I am Stephen Clark. I have flipped over 100 houses and sold over 200 houses. So I'm going to give you my unique perspective on this, and let's get into it. Also, jump down to any link in the bio. You can do Linktree. We do real estate coaching. We do real estate questions, one-off questions, etc. So as we know, the interest rates have been going up. Of course, that's no surprise. Everyone knows this, but we're finally getting some September numbers in now that we're at like November 9th, right? So we're getting some September's numbers in so we can see how it kind of fared in October and September. Their home values quotient that we've gotten from like the National Board of Realtors, also Redfin and Zillow, shows that the home values were flat between September and October, with some markets in the West and South seeing the biggest decline in home prices. So that's not super surprising, but you would really expect to see what we're seeing right now happen, right? Those frothy markets, those Austin, those San Jose, those Phoenix, those things that were really, really exploding under COVID and also over the last couple years have taken kind of the hit the hardest too. Now, you also have to think about this as kind of like a ladder, right? The luxury markets get hit first. This was exactly what happened in 2006 and 2007. Luxury markets get hit first, and then it kind of trickles down to everything else. Now, this is a tricky market correction, if not recession, if not crash, because the tricky part about it is it's hitting also the first-time home buyers, since they're so close to being able to afford a home or not. So think about it this way. So I have 3 flips on the market right now, and we've seen a huge reduction in showings and in offers, right? And that's because these first-time home buyers, which I would just put on, let's just take Charleston example. First-time home buyers are around the 200 to 400, 450 price mark, right? Maybe even a little lower, probably about 150 to 450, at least in Charleston. And these home prices are really, really sensitive to people's mortgage amount. So if you're getting a 7%, 8% interest rate, that's going to knock out a lot of these first-time home buyers in the market. Now, that's what's tricky, because the last one really hit the 2006 recession, or the 2006 housing market crash, whatever you want to call it, really hit those people that had overextended themselves and were borrowing too much, really. You saw it really big time in the luxury markets first, then it kind of trickled down. But this one's hitting the first-time home buyers, which is really, really interesting. So some of these markets that you think are really solid and will never go anywhere have been getting hit really hard too. So we can see right here that Las Vegas prices dropped 2.3% compared to the previous month, followed by Austin at 2.2%. We can see that the Austin Board of Realtors had seen closed sales fall by 18% and active listings rise by 162%. So you're starting to get that flooding of inventory in here too, which is kind of, it's good if you're buying, right? But kind of bad for the entire market if you get over supply. And it's just a basic supply and demand principle. The more supply you have, the less demand. I will say that the supply is going to feel probably like a breath of fresh air to people. I know if you can still afford a home and looking for a home, over the last couple of years, you've had almost no supply. A home will come on the market, it's either gone or not in 24 hours. Now you're going to be able to get some options. You're actually going to be able to go and view some houses. You're going to be able to go and make some deals, potentially. At least you have a higher percentage of making deals this time than you did this time last year. So we can see some markets in the western U.S. like Los Angeles and Riverside saw some recovery in home values with prices up 0.8% and 0.4%, but 1 month of positive data doesn't form a trend, they said, Zillow said. And we can see homeowners with low mortgage rates are sitting pretty. Now, this is pretty interesting because a huge majority of homeowners have locked in fantastic interest rates. So they're not going to really go anywhere. That's the hypothesis, right? You don't go anywhere with a great interest rate, with like a lifetime low interest rate. Unless you have like a huge job transfer or some sort of catastrophic kind of happening within a family or friends or something like that. So, they don't really sell until they really, really have to. You don't just kind of sell and just go buy something nicer when you lock in a 1%, 2% mortgage loan as opposed to having to do a 7%. So a lot of this inventory is going to be restricted. I actually think that's a good thing for the market, right? As inventory blows up in some of these markets, I think that it's not going to blow up as much as it could have if we didn't have these low interest rates back in the day, a couple of years ago. So I'm actually really, really happy to see this. I'm glad to see that they're not moving and they're holding on to their home. I think that's going to be good to kind of weather us through this storm, because my prediction is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I'm thinking the next 6 months to a year, we'll see the bottom fall out. This is not financial advice, of course, but for me personally, if I was counseling myself on this, I would say, Stephen, just wait, 6 months, start peeping the deals, keep an eye on it, but start peeping the deals in about 6 months. And also, within a year, maybe really, really get into the buying, maybe 6 months, get into the buying. But, I think the longer we go on, the worse we're going to see it. And also, this is the winter too. Remember that this is Q4 and a little bit of Q1 is traditionally the slowest months in the housing market. So the longer kind of we wait and let the bottom worsen out, then the better deals are going to come. I know people are worried about buying something with the interest rates, but just a quick little thing there is that you flirt. What is it? I love this quote too. You marry the price and you flirt with the interest rates, because that means you can refinance out of these things in a year, in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And most likely, I think the prediction that everyone is making is that they're going to be, the interest rates will be lower maybe in 5 years than they are now, right? They will lower again eventually, sometime, in my professional opinion, before we're dead. So that's always a good thing. But just remember that. I know it kind of sounds silly when you say it like that, but it really is a really good reminder that these things go up, but these things also come down. And you don't have to be locked in for 30 years if you don't want to be, right? You can see the property market has downturns as mortgage rates spiked. The 30-year fix is averaging at 7.5%. Rates were below 4% a year ago. So active inventory, the number of for sale listings available in total, rose 1.8% in October. So we can see the inventory is coming. This is not a great sign as sellers continue to sit on homes they bought with ultra-low mortgage rates amid the market cool down. I think it's a great sign. The rate of new sale listings hitting the market has dropped around 24% from the same time last year. And this is also followed by consumer confidence in the housing market hits a new low, according to Fannie Mae. Just 16% of consumers said they thought now is a great time to buy a home. A higher share of consumers, 37%, said they expect home prices to drop in the next 12 months. And we can see that, even here. I would encourage you to go to Redfin. Type in your city, go to the market insights that's on the right, and you can kind of see all these great information statistics on your city. So it has a competitive score. So I'm just doing Charleston, South Carolina. The average home sell for 2% below list price and go pending at around 46 days, which is a very slow time, according to what we've already seen. Hot homes can sell about 1% above listing price and go pending in 32 days. So it's a somewhat competitive market. You can see the sales to list price has lessened over a year. Homes sold above list price has lessened over a year as well, a lot over a year. And then you can see some really great migration and trends from where everyone is coming from and where the net outflow is going. So this is the inbound, and we can see the outbound, which is pretty cool. I actually really love that. And the inbound is pretty cool as well. So lots of things to see here, but also go to the link tree, pop in, ask a question, or just join up into our Discord, which I'm going to launch soon. And we'll just talk about all things real estate all the time, which I'm really passionate about.